Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Elemental Clarity Podcast / Is This a Podcast? This is a series I created because I didn't want to worry about perfection. I didn't want to worry about video editing. I didn't want to worry about getting in my own way. I wanted to just start sharing with you how Feng Shui actually shows up in people's lives. Feng Shui wins I have, my clients have, how Feng Shui and using this tool actually stacks, and what a Feng Shui lifestyle and serendipitous lifestyle actually looks like. Because I'm sure if you've found this video, you watch a lot of different Feng Shui blogs, videos, manifestation, law of attraction. You're just wanting to overall use energy because you realize it's an important part to getting ahead in life and making a lot of progress in your own life. And there's so much crap to weed through that is such total BS, even by some of the biggest people in their field. And I understand why they share law of attraction or share manifestation or share even Feng Shui the way they do, because to reach the masses, you kind of have to, as the business owner, you kind of have to turn it down to this like third grade beginner level so that we can get you into our ecosystem, like show you how nice and fun it is. But then once you're behind the doors, a lot of these people are misguiding the audience. They get behind the doors and then they realize it's not actually this quick fix. It's not actually this thing that happens overnight. And so I wanted to just share examples here in this podcast format, again, without overthinking it, because it's information that needs to be sent out. And then one day when I have somebody who just like knows how to read my brain, I'll give them all this and they'll make cool videos and visuals. But for now, this is just information that is really helpful if you're wanting to use energy to your advantage. And so let's not overthink it. Okay. I'm looking over here, like, when was the last time I actually did one of these? Because I also use them as like updates in my life, give you guys some of the behind the scenes of like elemental clarity, how it's growing, what growing a business is like, what living in your grandmother's home, trying to renovate it is like and a lot of you like hearing about, I'm probably shouting into this, sorry. A lot of you like hearing about the renovations and stuff. Unfortunately, there's nothing to give you on that front. I've painted over 2 different bathrooms with some wallpaper now. That's interesting. I did really well in the smallest bathroom painting over it. And then in the second one, I just got a little lazy. I am the worst at DIYing. I'm a pretty impatient person, which is probably why I do this. I help high-level entrepreneurs get their personal life together. We are impatient go-getter, let's get things done, high-achieving people. And so we want to use everything we can, like Feng Shui, manifestation, energy work, read all the books. We want to use every single tool possible to get our dreams as fast as possible. So when it comes to DIYing, I would just rather make a lot of money and pay somebody to do it and circulate money in the economy, okay? So unfortunately, not a lot of updates there. The next thing that some of the next areas that need updating are no renovation zones this year. And so it might not happen until some auspicious windows. I've talked about that before. I actually have a video, how I used Feng Shui to renovate. There's one that's called What Happens When You Feng Shui in a No Renovation Zone. I kind of learned my lesson. I was on track, but then the contractor, he went a little bit over, and it was an interesting science experiment. So, sorry, no updates on Grandma's house just yet. There is like so much going on. There is so much fun updates, and I love that you guys kind of care. But I want to get straight into what's valuable for you guys. And there's this theme of clearing up some of the biggest misconceptions in Feng Shui. And I know in some of my other videos, I clear up ones about plants and like some other secrets that are just BS. But this one runs through the theme of today. So the biggest misconception, or one of the biggest misconceptions about Feng Shui and energy work in general, and people who are like quantum leap, is that Feng Shui does the heavy lifting. And this is something that I've been doing Feng Shui now for 12 years. Professionally, I have had elemental clarity for 4. But I have been using, for friends, family, myself, I have been using Feng Shui for 12. And definitely in the beginning, and honestly, I've been sitting with this information, like even the past year, peeling back the layers, there's been this like sticking point in my business. August, September, October of last year was like really difficult. And I'm also changing luck pillars in my Bazi. So this is also insight into like how I use all of these things and how you can use all of these things to make more progress. When something is so difficult, like you are just hitting a wall after a wall after a wall, you're running a business, or maybe you're trying to advance in your career, or just like break through with like and find a solution to something. If it is like so difficult and there's zero sign of progress, you need to check your gut, and like your gut will tell you, yes, keep going. But if there's and really asking, okay, have I tried everything? Am I being lazy? Are some limiting beliefs getting in the way? That is not an issue for me. Laziness and like not trying every single thing or getting out of my comfort zone is not an issue for me. So when I hit these walls or these pinch points, it is a clear sign from the universe that I have got to pivot. And so there has been some, and like really asking myself a lot of deep questions about where this business is going, who I help, how I serve, what my offering should be. And also, Pluto left Capricorn and moved into Aquarius. Moved into Aquarius. And where that all lands in my chart means that I will be having some more psychic awakenings. And I'm already like psychic. I wouldn't go out and market myself as a psychic, but I'm already very in tune and tapped, know what's going to happen, can like see ahead and plan ahead a little bit, just well enough that it's still inconvenient that I'm like, can we like give me a little bit more obvious answers? Can we make it a little more obvious? But in all of that shift, I've been really peeling back Feng Shui, marketing, growing this business. An online business has a lot to do with marketing, and I am great at a lot of different things. Marketing and speaking to in a certain way, not one of them. In doing so, I'm getting really into Feng Shui, and I'm very observant as to how really big names are advertising Feng Shui as a solution, how blogs are advertising as a solution. I'm seeing so many people just like repeat things and say things where it's like, you don't have any experience with this at all. You are saying that you Feng Shui for people or can get them this result, and you're just hoping and praying that you read this book and you're like regurgitating this information. You actually have no idea. And that has been very interesting, like watching. The biggest misconception, to get back to this point, is that Feng Shui does the heavy lifting. And this actually became this catalyst in November of 2024 for me to switch. Rather than running around and calling myself a Feng Shui consultant, I am a Feng Shui expert. I have this nugget. I am by no means a master. I am hesitant I question anybody who self-appoints and calls themselves a Feng Shui master. I had a hard time calling myself an expert until I realized if I don't, there's all these people that are. I have people in my DMs who call themselves Feng Shui experts on their Instagram bio, but they're still DMing me some very basic questions, very confused questions. A lot of people that like actually want me to train them and teach them. And it takes a lot for me to not message them back and be like, so why are you calling yourself a Feng Shui expert if you're in my DMs wondering, like, I get that we always want to be better, but I'm just very cautious to like call myself something that I'm not. So I do believe I'm a Feng Shui expert. I can handle a lot of different ways, solve a lot of problems. I know BTB, I know classical, I know a lot. All of this is to say I've backed off from promoting myself as a Feng Shui consultant and realize that what will be more valuable to people, what will serve people more, what will actually get them from point A to point B is all of the strategy that I have and all of the ways that I know how to use and combine these astrological tools, Feng Shui tools. The expertise I have or the way that I really help isn't just you get on a call with me, we tweak some stuff, we put some wood, fire, earth, metal, water in your house, And then you have these changes. When I work one-on-one with people, I'm actually their strategist. I'm actually their second brain. Whether it was landscape architecture or sales, like no matter who you talk to, they will say, man, Jeanette like knows how to get things done in a very efficient manner. How do you get things done so quickly? Even in high school, I had this summer job, and I'll never forget it was at this park, and she needed me to rearrange this like shed. They had this, I was in charge of taking care of all the different like beach spots, and like there's like 6 different mini parks within this big park, and like cleaning up the grounds. And so they had this like major shed with picnic tables and fold out tables and just all of this stuff to help these mini camping spots function. And my task for the week was to organize this shed, and I got it done in 3 hours. And the lady was like, wait, you're already done? Like you've already completed this? Yeah. So I can just see where there's gaps in your habits. I can see where there's gaps in your identity and the story you tell yourself. I can see where there's gaps and missing pieces and things that can be more efficient in your space. That's like the real thing. So as I'm having these epiphanies, because Pluto moved from very significant part in my chart to another significant part in my chart, I'm pivoting from this Feng Shui consultant identity to being your second brain. I help entrepreneurs and business owners get their personal life together. So just like you have a CEO for your business, I am a CEO of your life, or COO of your life. I'm like your second brain. Pour out all the puzzle pieces. The people who I work with are already successful. They're already doing well. They already know how to follow through on their habits, but there is something that's just like really difficult for them to get, or there's something that needs tweaking because they've gotten themselves so far, and they need somebody as their second brain or their second set of eyes to help them get to the next level. And this stemmed from, and the video next week talks about this. This stemmed from this epiphany I had. Like Feng Shui does not do the heavy lifting. This is the biggest misconception that I was like kind of hinting at. It is a huge piece of the puzzle. We talk about the cosmic trinity all the time. We have heaven luck, man luck, earth luck. It's 33% of this manifestation you have. If you are trying to start a small business in a cemetery, not the environment that's going to bring you a lot of customers, unless you are trying, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Can't wait for the day that I'm good at analogies. Environment is super, super important. Who you hang out with, who you compare yourself to, who you spend time with. I guess that's hang out with. Your house, is it recharging you? Is it lifting you up? Your environment is a crucial factor. And I will always lead with that, because how do you maintain your state? How do you maintain a positive state, a positive story, and the ability to have clarity to solve problems? You have to be able to rest and relax and be open to receiving creativity and energy and like recharge. And that's what your space does. If you need to stay focused and motivated in your office environment matters. So that will always be the biggest thing. But I was just having this tension in this like sticking point again, where people would ask like about where do I move this plant? And it's like, it's so much deeper than all of this. And I have a video out there if you want to know where to put your plants. Or I would tell them, and then I'd say, what's your plan to get it? Like if they said, where do I move my plant to make more money or to get it my dream job? Okay, move it here. Here's like the annual energy that's good. Here's the base energy that's good. Now, what's your plan to take action? Feng Shui does not solve the problem for you. It opens the doors. It puts you in the right place at the right time. It makes finding the opportunity easier, finding the people easier, but it does not solve the problem whatsoever. You could be staring the right opportunity in the face, but if your story in your head is, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't know if I'm like really cut out for this position, and it is like Feng Shui will bring you the opportunity and you have to sign the papers and say, I want this opportunity. Feng Shui will bring you the person that's really good for you. But if you have not cleared your daddy issues, your mommy issues, your self-worth issues, the fact that you're rude to people, or maybe you don't know how to take a compliment, if you haven't like fixed all your internal stuff, you could be staring the right person in the face and you could still mess it up. Now, usually I would say what happens more often than the perfect person does not present itself to you immediately, more like the next best thing for you to overcome and have and date or work at presents itself. And then you date them, you take the job opportunity, you do the thing, you learn your lesson from it, you grow from it, you learn a lot of skills from it, and then Feng Shui will bring you the next thing. But this big misconception of Feng Shui solves my problem was really like eating away at me, because what people don't realize is that if you hire me, I am so invested in getting you results. I mean, because you, like, one, I want you to be happy. My why for doing this business and having this business is because it pains me when I see people not reaching their full potential because they're so stuck in their head or stuck in their own ways, and they don't realize that they can just have this little shift and this little tweak, and like the world will open up for them if they just get out of their own way a little bit. And that's why I start all this, to help people love their life and become the best version of themselves. But also, what is a major factor that I have to think about as a business owner is that I need to follow up and actually help you get results, right? Otherwise, I don't have a business. If you don't like my product, if somebody makes toothbrushes and then a bunch of people buy the toothbrush, but the toothbrush doesn't work or they don't like it, that doesn't look good for that toothbrush brand. So I take it very seriously when the potential client interviews me, but I also am interviewing them back. Like, do I actually think you're going to follow through on this? And there's a couple clients that, like, it's clear as day to me that, and I talk about this one in the next video. There's really only like a couple that stick out, but I just see their inaction. And I see them wanting to rely on the Feng Shui or rely on a tarot card reading or rely on a psychic reading. And I'm like, you just have to get to work. Like, you just have to get in the gym. You just have to like take action and you will have the result. And that's where this whole second brain strategist, like accountability partner thing came into play. So this is me sharing with you like a huge misconception about Feng Shui in general, and then a life update. I guess I said I wasn't going to like include a lot of life updates, but that's a really big way that my business is pivoting. A lot of the personal energy number videos have come out. We're going to get back into the regularly scheduled content. A lot of work and effort, and oh my gosh, my brain is confused and a mush has gone into Instagram this past 4 months. Past like 2 while the personal energy number videos come out. But now what you'll start to see is I'll be including a lot more, not just Feng Shui, but also like, here's how you get out of your own way to actually receive the blessings that Feng Shui is bringing you. In this shift, new videos coming out are going to be including Feng Shui advice still, but also more stuff about like your identity and your actual actions, because you can only Feng Shui so much. People sometimes are like, they keep wanting to switch it around and change things around. But think about it. If you're trying to plant a tree, your goal, if you're trying to plant a goal that you want to achieve, if you keep moving the seed around every 3 months, that tree is never going to grow. So your Feng Shui is like this base, and you create this base and you can tweak it and move it when you feel stuck and when you have different goals and when you're in different seasons of your life. But for the most part, you set your Feng Shui and then you go take action and achieve the goal. So there's going to be more videos about that come out. And all of this is to say, I want to show you how to use all of this and the strategy. I want to hear some of the personal stuff you're struggling with. So write or send in your emails to hello@elementalclarity.com. And I'm going to be answering questions, kind of like how people write into radio stations or write into different podcasts and the hosts answer and give their advice and their feedback. I've already made it pretty clear. Strategy, efficiency, how you're getting in your own way, something you're not seeing. I am so good at someone just pouring their life out to me, pouring the puzzle pieces of their life to me, and me being like, well, have you ever thought about turning this, switching this, selling this, and paying for this, and then your problem is solved? And they're like, no. Or like, I had a client, something as simple as I just had a 2025 annual update with a client, and she's talking about how she's not drinking enough water. She's really fallen off, and because she doesn't have time to, she's not drinking enough water because she doesn't fill her water bottle up in the morning, and then half the day goes by and she doesn't have water in her water bottle. And I was like, well, have you ever thought to yourself, like, before you go to bed, filling up your water bottle so in the morning you can just grab it and start your day? And she was like, no. And I know some of you are, sorry if this is loud. I know some of you are like, well, duh, obviously. But there's something in your life that you have like that you're not doing. And it's really easy to like look at other people sometimes and say it, but we don't really see how we're in our own way or like how we are being inefficient. So write in your questions about life, about relationships, about just whatever problem, like what goal you're trying to achieve, what thing you're trying to attain. And I'm going to give you advice. And sometimes it'll be a little bit of mindset and identity stuff. Sometimes it'll be actual strategy. Sometimes it'll be an action. And sometimes it'll also be feng shui. I am assuming that my answer will include all of it. So it'll be these mini sessions if you don't want to hire me or work with me full time, or maybe I know you want to hire me, but maybe you're not in a position where you can just yet. You can write those questions into your email and get my feedback there. So hello@elementalclarity.com. So this final segment of today's chat on this theme of this biggest misconception that feng shui does the heavy lifting for you, I want to share some client wins. I've had a lot of recaps with people because we've been doing their 2025 annual updates. So I say like, maybe I didn't work with them all year. Like I just talk to people at the beginning of the year. We do their annual update, like tweak some things for the beginning of the year. I share with them their astrology. We make a plan. They understand how they need to execute a goal. They've reversed engineer it. And so they're very focused on the year, what to create. Their feng shui is all tweaked and uplifting them for the year. So then when January and February 2025 roll around, I get all the updates on like, usually people are emailing me and saying, oh, this happened, this is so fun, this happened. But sometimes I don't talk to people for like 6 months and I'm getting all their updates. So some client wins. Oh my gosh, I just thought of one that I didn't write down. Client wins. 3 of my clients, big, I have now been working with them 2 years, 3 years, and 2 years. There's 3 different people I'm thinking about. They have now attracted these fulfilling relationships, these long-term partnerships. They all have different, like one of them wants to get married. One of them, her goal is to be married like quickly, start a family quickly. She met him. It was like a big crush of hers. And within 6 months, they're talking about rings. And she's like, he's looking at rings. It'll happen at the end of the year. And I was like, whoa, like this is where a professional has to remove their personal opinion. I personally, man, I think it's so cool that people that just like meet the person and get married in 2 weeks. Like, I need more time to sit with decisions. So I take out my personal opinion and it's working for her, and I'm very excited for her that it happened so quickly. And honestly, that's what happens when you feng shui. Now, again, I've been working with her for a couple of years. These things build, they don't happen overnight. Who she was 2 years ago is not who she is now. She is now so much more whole, so much more loving, so much more feminine and open to receiving. She had to really like practice the nurturing. She is somebody who wants the stereotypical masculine feminine, so like a man to take care of her, and that's great for her if that's what she wants. And so I said to her, well, if you want a provider and you want someone to show up and, you know, show up full masculine, you don't want like a 50-50, then you have to really learn to be more feminine, because you're going to masculine, feminine, positive, negative magnets, like we attract the opposite. So 100% fully charged masculine magnets are going to repel each other. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is like, it builds. We have these annual updates. She uses the energy to her advantage, and she says, okay, this is the year. She sees, or I share with her, this is the year I have to practice this or tweak this or learn this about myself and my personality, and this is the thing I got to dive into. And she did the work, and she listened, and it doesn't feel like work when you're using the energy. Yeah, there's some lessons, and yeah, there's some obstacles, but like, it's so clear it has to happen while you're in it that you appreciate the journey so much more. And you're like, I'm in the journey. This is the beauty of life, rather than why am I not at my destination? Why am I not at my destination? Why am I not at my destination? So it's lovely. Like, this was I was shocked that this was her update for me. I have another client who actually is the exact opposite. Maybe not exact opposite, but very opposite end. A little bit older, a lot older, a few decades different. And she wants more of this like live apart but be together thing. Like they're older, they don't really see the point of getting married again, but they want to enjoy each other's company, they want to be exclusive, and they want like a committed relationship for the long run. And she also had, I've been working with her for 3 years, and this person came in for her sooner and recently, but it's like gotten more serious. And again, she is not who she was when she started. Many people come to me in the beginning and like, oh, usually they're coming to me about business and success. And then when that's on going and on the roll, of course, they're like, all right, well, now maybe I do want a partner. And people who are really, really good at business are not usually really, really good at relationships, because if you're really good at problem solving and solutions and like hearing a problem, you want to solve it. Whereas to be in a relationship, usually you're like nurturing them, man or woman, you're usually nurturing them. You like listen. They want companionship. They don't want a dictator. You know what I mean? So this person also very good at business, and we had to learn and kind of hold her accountable in the being open to receiving. Another client, so lots of new relationships in my clients, which is really exciting. Another client is fully off of her medication. I'm not saying if depression medicine or anxiety medicine is good or bad. I think it was case dependent. But for her, it was this beautiful, she didn't even come in saying, I want a feng shui for this. She came in saying, I need to turn my home into an oasis. I'm feeling depressed. I don't want to wake up in the morning. Like I don't have a lot to look forward to. And we never spoke of her medications. I didn't even know she was on anything. But it wasn't till a little bit later that she filled me in. She goes, oh, and by the way, I just don't take them anymore. Like I just realized that I forgot a couple times, and then it just like, I fell out of the routine and I'm good. Like I wake up, I'm excited. She has all these volunteer things she's doing, and she's running some charity things and running some department things. She's on the board member of things, and she just has all of these things she's doing now that are feeding her, that she's excited to do, that she's excited to wake up and go after. And this woman I've been working with for 2 years as well. But that was like a really cool win, because ideally, I think most of us would say we like don't want to rely on something to get us across the finish line. Like we'd like it to be a natural motivation, a natural passion, and natural things. And it's just like good when our body is functioning and producing all of that, like working at 100%, right? And so that was just a very cool win for her. So in summary, showing you these client wins of how they're attracting these relationships, and it's over time. It's after they did some self-reflection. And so Feng Shui doesn't fix everything overnight. And that's why, again, this all comes full circle. The biggest misconception being that Feng Shui does the heavy lifting. Actually, if you're already doing a lot of the heavy lifting and you are truly taking action every day and you're doing all the self-work, Feng Shui is the last final piece that switches things into gear. If you're living mediocre, physically, action-wise mediocre, your space is mediocre, if everything's mediocre, you kind of need to up-level all of it. Like if you're not taking any action at all, the Feng Shui won't solve it. It just supports it and makes it easier. So these are examples of clients who listened to the universe, listened to what the universe was presenting them emotionally, externally, like had to go on some dates, had to learn about their preferences, had to learn about themselves, had to kind of create this new identity of I'm open to receiving and somebody can open a door for me. And so I loved like hearing these wins, and I thought it was very on theme for today, and also wraps in why you're going to hear me say more that I help high-level entrepreneurs and business owners get their personal life together. Because also when your personal life is a success, you're already putting in the hard work. Like I know the people that watch this channel and the people that do the Feng Shui success forecasts and use the Feng Shui planner, they're already very good at showing up in their business, in their career. And but it gets tiring doing it all on your own. It gets tiring, like pushing and working. And when you boost your personal life, and so you create this Feng Shui lifestyle and you use energy in your personal life, business not only becomes easier, but it creates more results, more success, more profit, and it excels because your energy also improves. So that's why you're going to hear me like step back from saying I'm your go-to Feng Shui consultant and more into I help high-level entrepreneurs and business owners get their personal life together. I don't want to call it a coach. We're not going to lean into any of that language because none of it is me telling you anything you don't know. It's, again, helping you tweak and turn the puzzle pieces. You're smart. You're advanced. You know how to like get things done. You've turned your life into something out of nothing. And I'm just here to be your accountability partner because even high achievers, there are things that we just don't. We're really good at all these other areas, and there's this like thing we're kind of neglecting because it's just not as fun, but like it would be really good if we did it. And so I'm that accountability partner to help you like move the needle in this thing that you're not so great at self-accountability holding on. And second brain, it's showing you where there's some gaps and some inconsistencies and how we can align everything so that personal life is a success, business is a success, career growth is a success. When everything is turning together, life is smooth, it's in balance, it's in flow, and the journey is super fun and enjoyable, and we're not just worried about getting to the next destination. Don't forget to write in your questions. So what's the goal you're trying to work on? What's the goal you're trying to achieve? What's going on with your relationships or your habits or your mindset? And how can I help you? Email me those questions at hello@elementalclarity.com. I will see you in the next video.